All my life I have played softball and wanted to compete at the collegiate level. From the countless hours of practice and always having to maintain good grades in school, I knew that playing Division I softball was my main goal. Becoming a Division I athlete was extremely hard to accomplish, and now that I am here, the hard work and dedication has only just begun.
What are the academic expectations for a Division I athlete?
Being an athlete means that you need to maintain a certain GPA in order to be eligible to play. For the NCAA, you need a 1.8 GPA in order to compete. Here at UMBC, they require a 2.0 GPA. Even though UMBC's is a 2.0, if you do not maintain a higher GPA than that, it is likely that your coach will instill extra consequences. We also have mandatory study hall hours and weekly meetings with an advisor in order to see if we are staying on track.
Explain the importance of the word student and student athlete.
The importance of the word student and student athlete is that it comes first. Your studies come first. Athletics in a university is just a benefit. And essentially, most of us are not graduating to play a pro sport. We're graduating to earn a degree.
Explain study hall hours.
Depending on your team and your grades, can depict like how many study hall hours you have. Like if you have good grades, then you're gonna have not that many study hall hours or 0. And if you don't have good grades, then you're gonna have more study hall hours.
Explain the life of a Division I athlete during the season of your sport.
Life of a D1 athlete can be very hectic at times. It definitely has its pros and cons, like waking up for 6 a.m. lift and running every day, going to your classes, going to practice and back to classes, and trying to find a time period to eat can be very difficult. Traveling, when you start traveling, schoolwork starts to become an issue. Well, it's very hard to complete your work on time sometimes, so bringing your schoolwork with you on the planes, on your bus rides, definitely has to be an option. But it's all worth it in the end because you're playing the sport you love, especially being Division I. It's definitely an honor to be here, and you always have to be 100% committed at all times.
Describe the social life of a Division I athlete.
A Division I athlete will usually eat dinner with their friends. Usually most of their friends are on another sports team or on their sports team. We'll go to study hall together, try and get work done together, and we hang out on the weekends.
What makes you different than a non-Division I athlete?
Athletes are different than non-athletes because we have to figure out how to juggle all of the demands of college. In addition, we have to maintain a good GPA, go to class, complete assignments, and we also have to get on the bus and travel to many games, complete mandatory study hall hours, practice over 20 hours a week, maintain a healthy diet, and keep our bodies healthy. All of this means we'll probably lose extra hours of sleep in order to balance it.
Explain the typical diet of a Division I athlete.
Typically there's about 6 meals a day. There's 3 main meals, and then depending on what type of workout you do, you want to increase your protein and carbs, and you want to eat every 3 to 4 hours.
Explain the level of competition of a Division I athlete compared to a non-Division I athlete.
Generally, a Division I athlete is more competitive than an athlete that plays Division II or Division III sports. We're more competitive on and off the field, say in the weight room or in the classroom, because we have to get good grades actually to play our sport. Plus, we're playing against the best competition possible, being a Division I sport, so it all translates to us being more competitive, better competitors.
Explain drug tests and the drug-free expectations of a Division I athlete.
So, Division I athletes get drug tested about every 2 or so months. They choose randomly, so it can be every month, every 5 months. It's a random choice, and they pick about 30 athletes from each different team. So there's usually 2 or 3 per team chosen. For the smaller teams, for the swim team, there's usually a lot more because there's more people. and it's a random choice, and each person has to go. It's usually from 5 a.m. to 7 a.m. is when the people come to drug test you. And the punishments of the drug test is you get suspension, and it depends on your how many times you've failed your drug test, of how many games you get lost. So your first time you fail, I think it's 10 games, and then each time you fail, the punishment gets worse and worse. So UMBC drug tests as well as NCAA drug tests as well. So the NCAA drug tests are more intense, and the punishments are worse if you fail for NCAA compared to UMBC's drug tests. But the overall concept is that they don't want you doing any drugs to enhance your performance or affect your athletic abilities.
Describe your college selection process in comparison to that of a non-Division I athlete.
I think the college selection process is a little bit easier for athletes than non-athletes. I'd say that because we are going to look for schools to play a sport, whereas a non-Division I athlete has unlimited selections of schools where we only have a select few, or when we are going to the next level to play our sport, if there's only certain schools that are interested in us, that really narrows where we can go if we want to play our sport at the next level. We obviously choose schools a lot earlier than non-Division I athletes do, and that takes a lot of the stress off of us in a way, but it increases the stress during our recruiting process